Howdy y'all, Stock Warden here, back with another video. And today we're looking at American Resources Corporation and how they have once again, through ReElement Technologies, have absolutely boosted into a whole new streamlined process in recovering precious metals that is going to be absolutely indescribable with how well that this is going to go over into a lot of the defense contracts. So this is going to help immensely for them getting even more government contracts, because this in itself is going to be a huge capability for upping the critical national defense budget for AREC. So what that is and what that is entailing is that today ReElement Technologies has announced this landmark technical achievement in the separation and purification of tungsten from mined materials supplied by international mining partners. So ReElement has successfully processed tungsten concentrate, grading approximately 28% tungsten into purified material, achieving 99.9% purity, establishing what is to be believed to be one of the only demonstrated domestic capabilities in the United States for commercially viable tungsten, and demonstrating another important capability within its multi-mineral, multi-feedstock refining platform. So the achievement is representing a meaningful advancement towards establishing domestic and allied refining optionality for tungsten, which is one of the most strategically important materials used across the U.S. defense and commercial industrial base. So this is another defining moment for ReElement and for America's strategic material independence. So tungsten is essential in the defense industrial base, so yet the U.S. remains heavily reliant on foreign-controlled supply chains for their refined material. But ReElement has now demonstrated that this platform can separate and purify tungsten from mined concentrate up to 99.9+% purity. So while tungsten is not part of the initial phase 1 on the build out, this achievement is giving them a clear pathway to add tungsten refining capacity as customer demand, prepayments, and commercial commitments justify expansion. So that in itself is going to be yet another huge increase for American Resources Corporation, rebuilding and completely executing just yet another rare critical earth mineral that they are able to provide and reclaim. So tungsten is valued for its exceptional hardness, density, high melting point, and heat resistance. So it's used across defense and in advanced industrial applications, including armor-piercing munitions, missile systems, aerospace components, hypersonic technologies, military electronics, advanced manufacturing, and also high-performance tooling. So, despite its strategic importance, the United States has a very limited domestic refining capability for tungsten, which is creating a vulnerability in the defense industrial base and also broader manufacturing supply chains. So, in all reality on this, they also have this further campaign that they are bringing in for tungsten, since they have been able to achieve such a high purity that they are now further validating the versatility of its proprietary chromatography-based separation and purification platform for ReElement. So the platform is designed to process a broad range of rare earth and critical mineral feedstocks, enabling a more flexible, modular, and scalable approach to domestic refining than your normal conventional methods that often rely on a large scale fixed infrastructure and significant chemical consumption. So that is going to be absolutely critical for what they're moving into. And then also, one of the co founders and board executives said that this move is not simply just about tungsten, but that this is about ensuring a basis in the United States and its allies where they can access, refine, and control the materials that underpin national defense, technological leadership, advanced manufacturing, and industrial security. So ReElement's Refining First model provides a new approach, one that we have already commercialized across critical minerals, and it's designed to scale with evolving markets rather than replicating fixed legacy single source systems that have proven unsustainable, high risk, capital intensive, environmentally burdensome, and difficult to deploy. So, and that is coming from Mark LaVerghetta. Excuse me if I botched that name. So, but with all of that being said, ReElement is a privately funded domestic refiner and continues to engage with commercial partners, government stakeholders, and defense industry participants to expand domestic refining capabilities for rare earth elements and critical minerals essential to America's economic and national security priorities. So that is pretty much the basis on a huge driving factor for American Resources Corporation. So, as it always seems, ReElement is always digging into something new and bringing out something even more critical and more amazing every single time they put out a new huge news article. So, that is also just completely amazing. And on top of that, American Resources Electrified Materials is procuring a initial battery shredding line to advance economically viable circular supply chain for lithium ion based critical minerals. So now that is something that has been in the works for quite some time now for American Resources, and now that Electrified Materials has procured the initial shredding line for these batteries, they're going to start looking into getting all of these components and bringing everything up to start continuing to process and condition all of these different capabilities. So it's going to end up bringing in a whole new line once again for American Resources, because they're finally going to be able to start reclaiming these batteries off the ground and online. So, but on top of that, they're also able to recycle these batteries into a multitude of different things, where they're going to be using this process not only for the batteries, but it also brings in capabilities for magnet materials, copper, aluminum, and other ferrous materials that are recovered from these end-of-life products and manufacturing scrap. So that is going to be a huge chunk coming into American Resources Corporation. So whenever their earnings reports are to come out, it is definitely going to be one to see whether all of these new breakthroughs that they've been having over the past couple of months is going to end up boosting their sales. So their market capitalization has definitely grown over the past few months since they've been increasing their load, plus also being able to increase the amount and types of metals that they've been looking into building. So, but as we know, the stock really hasn't shown a whole lot over the past few months. So they are still working within their top and bottom resistance line and support. So it's definitely going back on the uptrend, but will they finally make a breakout? Well, we'll be here to see it when it does happen, because they are still trying to pursue and put forth the effort where not only are they building for the investor, but they are still trying to keep ahead and stay in the right financial market for them to be able to cover everything that they're doing, along with increasing all of this research and development for them to continue expanding and building on all of these reclaimed and refined products. So, with all that being said, that is everything that I have on American Resources Corporation, AREC. I hope y'all enjoyed the video and was able to get a little bit more in depth on where they're going and where they're heading. So, with all that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos. I'm dropping a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, this is the Stock Warden riding off. See y'all come back now, you hear?